Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I'm going to try with all the lights off, only with an evening daylight. It's getting dark outside. So let's see how far we can go with this kind of environment set. Doesn't really matter. What matters is, I think, the message and what information I will provide here. I have about 20 articles regarding and talking about the new developments on Telegram CEO Durov's arrest in France by the free world. And I will end with the last article, which I think is the most important of them all for me. And I thought I will share it with you. And that is, I think, another very important revelation of how the world works. What are the dynamics? We live in a matrix, and I'm going to show you the matrix. The other matrix that was exposed by Putin. If you don't believe him, that's fine, but just at least pay attention to what he said. When he said, if you remember, when he was asked by those French journalists, so-called, who he supports, Donald Trump in the elections or Hillary Clinton, and he said it doesn't really matter because regardless of who gets to be the elected president in the United States of America, the guys in black suits with ties will show up in 1 or 2 days and will tell them, the elected officials, how things work, referring to the intelligence services and the military industrial complex, which are the military, the guys with guns. And that happened in 2015-14, when he was asked for 15, when there were the elections. So since then, it was clear for some, or at least confirmed, how things work in reality in the US democracy. Now we have Medvedev, another Russian spy, KGB, he was not a spy, a KGB agent too. But he tells us about something else, about how the social media channels, platforms are infiltrated, knowingly belonging to certain services and agencies of certain countries. That's a war. Now, Edward Snowden, if you remember that guy, he told us about this a long time ago. Now, let's start with the first article. And as I said, I'm going to go in a crescendo. Boom. And at the end, I will show you the last two articles who I think expose the matrix. So let's go to the first article right here. Russia Today. Telegram founder Durov arrested by French police. This is just to introduce the topic. Next one. We have Agence France Presse. France extends detention of Telegram chief Durov. So France extends it. So you remember Guantanamo Bay? That's indefinite detention of those guys in Guantanamo. But hey, this is the French. Now Russia Today also says, Macron comments on Durov's arrest. You know, Macron said that, we are a free country where there's nothing political. That's exactly what this weasel says. The French president has claimed that the Telegraph founder's detention is due to an ongoing judicial investigation and is not political. I don't believe that squat. All right? But it's me. I have the right to do that. This guy, remember, on his own, he took the pension reform and he signed it without allowing the Grand Assembly in France to vote on it. By the way, didn't he just dismiss the Grand Assembly and then he had elections? Exactly. Everything was legal. But don't you think it's a little bit tyrannical? Well, if it's legal, can't be, right? I am the law. That was the law in the French Louis the whatever he was, 16. I am the law, if you remember that one. The same here. The law is what's written over there. So, French President Emmanuel Macron has denied any political motive for Saturday's arrest. Now, if this would have happened in Russia, and let's say Putin would have come and say this, like here, it's in no way a political decision and took place as part of ongoing judicial investigation in which the judges will ultimately decide the entrepreneur's fate. And I'm quoting, France is more than anything attached to freedom of expression. That's a lie. and communication. Yeah, really? Is Sputnik available there or Russia Today? Russia Today. I've been in France 2 weeks ago. I couldn't access Russia Today even if I tried in Paris. Yeah. Why? Because someone determined that I, or the French people, should not listen to those bad dudes because some other people know what's good for me. And they decided for me that I should be protected. They protect the baby from other babies because they are the bad dudes, we're told. And if we disagree with that, they will ban it. So I don't have access anyway. So that's bull shit. You know what I mean, right? Here, innovation and spirit of enterprise. You're a communist country, France, socialist at best, communist as reality. Macron wrote, adding that in a state governed by the rule of law, which is not you, on social networks as in real life, freedom are exercised within a framework established by law to protect citizens and respect their fundamental rights. Really? I want to hear anything I want. I want to be lied by anybody. Let me be the judge. If I'm fooled, like let's say I'm going to a dealership to buy a car, the salesperson over there, salesman, will not tell me, hey, that car actually, to manufacture it, the whole expenses are, let's say, $20,000 for that car. But you know what? I don't tell you that. I lied to you and I say I sell it for $40,000, knowing very well that that car, when it came from the assembling line of whatever manufacturer, I know the price. The dealership know the price, how much, but they got their price. They don't tell you, but they protect you. Why don't I tell you, Emil? Don't pay $40,000 for this car as I ask you, because in reality that's a lie. I can ask you, but that's unfair. Why? Because actually that car is worth $20,000. But you know what? I make it worth 40. And if you're stupid enough, you're going to pay for it if you don't do your homework. So you need to do your homework to counter me and say, no, Bibi, I'm not going to, no, Netanyahu, Bibi, I'm not going to pay 40,000 because I know somehow it came with 20. And then the deal is off. Why? Because this guy want to have a profit on you without doing squat, providing the car outside for you. That's what they do, the dealerships. And if you pay for everything else. So the same here. Why protect me then? What you want to protect me from the fake advertising, the 20,000 difference between the 40 and the 20 that the Russians are giving you with Russia Today? Yes, because we care for you. We are for the entrepreneurship, how do you call it? Entrepreneur framework and established by the law. Who makes the law? You. By whom? By we elected you. But who paid for your elections? We donated with Goldman Sachs, with all these guys who eventually write the law through you. Why do you think we have to wear seat belts when we drive a car? Do you think because the government cares for us? I don't want the government care for me about that one. It's because of the insurance company's lobby. That's exactly what it is. They don't want to pay you if you're going to sue something, or if you die and then you come, oh, I need this because, you know, I drove the car and right now I was insured with you. No, baby doll, no. Wear that thing over there. Maybe that would save your life. Why? It's not because they care about you. That's my belief. Let's put it mildly. So yeah, he talks BB shed here. Whereas the freedom and exercise within friends. This is the level of the Western civilization nowadays. And this is such a big distance between the reality, what these guys are, and it's like, as I said, old boxers, old former boxing world champions, heavyweight champions. They are like, say, 68, 69, and they still think they have it, they got it, man. You don't, but they still are the champions. What's up, champ? You were at one point. Fantastic. But now, bang, don't attribute yourself attributes, qualities that you don't have anymore. You had them. Very good, man. You're a beast. But now, you're just a Anyway, let's move on. The problem here is this: Europe, I think it's in a state of putrefaction, is how I call it, decomposure. It's just on the way down. It's like an old lady, former whore, who still thinks she's got it. And she demands the price, oh no, lady of the night, she demands the price that she demanded when she was younger. Baby doll, you're faded. You have an odometer of many, many thousands of miles and pounding. Can't ask the same price, but they do. Some of them are deluded like that. Baby doll, you're 50, you're 55, 60. You can't ask, I'm talking about the ladies of the night, you can't ask the same price. Why? Human nature. Why? I mean, men know why. Let's go to the next one, and women should know as well, unless you're deluded. Russia Today. Snowden accuses Macron of taking hostages. The NSA whistleblower has called the arrest of in France of Telegram founder Pavel Durov an assault on basic human rights. Didn't he say here about the rights? Something here, respect their fundamental rights. My fundamental rights is freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom to exist, if I can. It's not guaranteed. Our existence is not guaranteed, as countries' existence are not guarantees. Oh, do you support the right of a country to exist? I don't support. Countries come and go. Look at, for instance, Soviet Union, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia. If they had the right to exist, how come there are no more? Look at Yugoslavia, look at Serbia with Kosovo. Now we create another country. So when they say, oh, do you support the right to exist? I don't support anybody's right to exist. You have the right to defend your existence. You exist by defending your existence through force, mental, physical, and so on. Look in the nature. The weak will die. Only in humans the weak gets more children than the strong. How is that happening? How is that? And then we have somehow democracy. So all those baboons, the weak, that we support with having the rich, the strong, the powerful, paying for them, which is the middle class and the corporations who make the most money. We say, well, they should pay more. We should tax the corporations. Do you know how much their taxes and how much money they pay? If they would pay like a human being, oh no, that company did not pay squat. Go and do a research and see how much they pay. Anyway, if we, and we are, unfortunately, I'm going to turn that light on and that light on because I'm going to be like, ooh, you don't see me anymore. If we protect the weaklings with their, how should I put it, qualities through, how do you call that? I was like, I have a brain fart. I don't remember the shit because I was thinking about something else and now I came back. How do you call that? Epigenetics. If you believe in epigenetics, which is okay, then you realize why you don't want those guys to, go to Malthus, Thomas Malthus, okay, and control of population and survival. Let me turn these things on. All right, and now I'm pink like a little pig that I am, right? Who cares? No, let's go. It's only rock and roll. So what does Snowden say? The detention of Telegram founder and CEO of Pavel Durov jeopardizes the basic human rights of speech and association. The former CIA and National Security Agency contractor Edward Snowden has said. The whistleblower added that he's deeply saddened at the move by French President Emmanuel Macron. No, I'm not, because you already know who that is. If you don't, that means you've been living in a different world, or maybe you're not interested. And I'm quoting Edward Snowden. I am surprised and deeply saddened that Macron has descended to the level of taking hostages as a means for gaining access to private communications. Do you understand now? That's going to be my last article. That thing. But not based on Snowden, but based on Medvedev. Lowers not only France, but the world. I agree with that. Next one. Ukrainska Pravda. Telegram CEO Durov is accused of 12 crimes. So let's see what kind of crimes this guy is accused of. Monday 26th. French law enforcement has accused Pavel Durov, the former and CEO of the founder and the CEO of the Telegram Messenger, of 12 crimes. The French prosecutor's office specified that he had been accused of 12 crimes. Now, if I go here, and I will go for a second with this guy who said that they will... Oh, meow meow, did you bring a toy? Yeah, bring it here, meow meow. There you go, the cat wants to play. Well, a little bit later. So, if you remember, when there were some interviews with Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, the intelligent, that I like, former president of Iran. And he was asked on a few occasions, how about those... Oh, come over here, what's going on? If he's going to release those American hikers who entered Iranian territory and so on. And he said, well, it's not up to me, he said. We have a system and we have the judiciary that's going to take care of it. And then we got, I think it was, I can't remember what so-called journalist, Stephanopoulos, I can't remember, said, like that is not, like you don't control it. The same when Putin said something, come on, release Mr. What's his name? Gerkovich, the Wall Street Journal journalist that now is was by his brothers in New York. Anyway, not gonna go into that one. And Putin said, I think it was during the interview with Tucker Carlson, and even before about other issues on the same way, he said, well, it's not me. I think when they asked him about what's his name, that guy who died at 50-some in the colony, the opposition leader Navalny, remember, with less than 1% popularity. Anyway, it's unbelievable. So when he was asked, he said, well, we have a judiciary, I have nothing as a president to do with that. Well, you can pardon him. Well, I have to look into it. I have many other problems to look. But the issue was from these guys was, come on, we know this is fake and it's corrupt. But here, this take Macron seriously when he says that France is more anything freedom of expression, and we have the ongoing judicial investigation. That's a joke. How these guys laughed of Ahmadinejad and Putin, I laugh Macron. But hey, we have our own friends here, right? So let's see these crimes that he's accused of. Refusing to transfer information relevant to investigations on the request of law enforcement agencies. You understand what it is? So when it means, let's say, FBI tries something, or who knows what, MI6, you have to give the information right there. Or just let us be in with you. You know, being in a room while you have sex. We're just watching, okay? We take notes. Maybe we use a camera. That's basically what's going on. And that's, again, related to my last article. Complicity in drug trafficking, complicity in cyber crimes, complicity in extortion, laundering of illegal obtained funds, illegal providing of cryptographic services and tools for facilitating confidentiality. You lost me here. Complicity in storing pornographic content featuring minors. Well, where is, what's her name? Jeffrey Epstein's sidekick that now is in prison, Giselle. She's Jewish, by the way, like Epstein. Coincidence. Where's the list? When you're gonna give me that list, US government and the Western countries, find it, you give it to us, okay? Until then, just keep it over there, and people will forget as you try to have us forget about the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2 terrorist attacks perpetrated by... Can you hear me? The sound, you lost sound all of a sudden. Anyway, we know. Anyway, so let's go to the next one. Oh, Durov may be punished with 5 to 10 years of imprisonment and a fine of 150,000 euros. He's losing it. He's multi-billionaire. To billionaire. To 500,000 euros under the article about the managing of online platform which allows illegal trafficking of forbidden products, content, or services. They want to control it. That was the main sin of this guy. Now makes you wonder, how come they don't arrest Elon Musk? Well, Zuckerberg is answering. He's Jewish, by the way, so they're special. They're more moral than So Zuckerberg said, yes, we're going to do this. And now others were, oh, yes, sir. Why is, what's his name, Elon Musk not arrested yet? Well, another Jewish guy, Mr. Winman, will ask that question and gives a veiled threat, actually, to the South African Elon Musk. So let's go to the next article. Russia Today. Durov arrest exposes upside down West, Serbian leader says. The Telegram founder was treated as a free speech champion when it suited West interests. Alexander Vucic has said, yes, remember, he fled Russia and he thought he's very well doing in the West. Now they got him. Why? He did not want to be penetrated anytime, as deep as they wanted, however they wanted. He didn't. He had some, well, okay, come over. We're going to make you. Charges against Telegram founder Pavel Durov in France show that the West has abandoned the values it championed just a few years ago. Vucic, the president of Serbia, says. The 39-year-old Russian, he doesn't have Russian citizenship, I think, anymore, was detained by French authorities on Saturday. I don't know if he just got rid of it or after arriving in Paris. All right, it says Durov also has the passports. Probably that. Also, that means he also has the... No, Paris from Azerbaijan by private jet. Durov also has the passports of France, the UAE, and St. Kitts and Nevis. Speaking on the newscast, Durov case was interesting and compared him with the persecution of Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. And I'm quoting, back in 2018, when Russia put some mild legal pressure, the same as the West was putting, some 26 groups from the West signed a petition, remember this one, this is going to be another article, to the Russian state to stop violating his freedom. Remember these groups? You don't hear them now. Fast forward 5 or 6 years, and it's perfectly normal for them to have him arrested and want to shut down Telegram in the West. Everything has gone topsy-turvy. Reality itself has been changed to fit their interest. All right, so, and I'm going to show you in relation with it 26 groups, this. Russia Today. Moscow calls out Western human rights groups over Durov's arrest. When the Telegram messaging app had legal issues in Russia, its founder remained free. The Foreign Ministry spokeswoman noted, correct, Ms. Zakharova. Russian Foreign Minister Maria Zakharova has asked if international human rights groups will pressure France over the arrest of Telegram founder and CEO Pavel Durov, given the harsh criticism levied at Russia several years ago when it tried to regulate the messaging app operation. Regulate as in censor and control it. Got that? And here, Zakharova, who took to Telegram on Sunday, recalled how in 2018 a group of 28 NGOs, including Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, Freedom House, and Reporters Without Borders, condemned the Russian court's decision to block Telegram in the country. And I agree with that. Where are you now, guys? Where are you now? And the NGOs demanded that Moscow stop creating obstacles to Telegram operations at the time and guarantee the right of users to publish and anonymously consume information online, she wrote. They called upon the UN, the Council of Europe, the OSCE, Organization of Security and Cooperation in Europe, the EU, the US, and other governments to resist Russia's move and protect the fundamental rights and freedom of expression and privacy, the spokeswoman recalled. Zakharova reminded the NGOs that Moscow has legal issues with Telegram over the technical parameters of its encrypted system, like many other countries. Meanwhile, I'm quoting, Durov remained free all this time, continuing to develop Telegram. Yeah, but he was under, the snipers, the Russian snipers, with Putin himself ready to shoot if he would just leave, like Navalny in Germany. Navalny violated his parole, which if you violate your parole in America and you leave the country, if you can, and you come back, you'll be arrested immediately. Got that? All right. So Navalny violated his parole. That's why he was kicked back into prison. He went to Germany for medical treatment because the Russians allegedly, tried to poison him. They did it. The evidence, the Russians bad, we good. All right, let's move on. So, meanwhile, Durov remained free all this time. What do you think? Will they, the NGOs, appeal to Paris this time and demand Durov release, or will they swallow their tongues? They don't have a tongue because the tongue is in the Americans' ass. All right, that's where the tongue is. All right, so let's go to another article. More information. CNN. Detention of Telegram founder sparks debate about free speech and criminal activity online. So these guys are for censorship, and it sparks debate. That means we should ban all that, which is already illegal, right? But we should control more. Why? Because remember, CNN loses in front of Telegram. Why? Remember, all this so-called legacy media, corporate media, the mainstream so-called media, these guys were electing and destroying whomever they wanted with their experts and with their articles, with everything, with their exposés. They will, but now you got the internet, you got all these options. Oh, what can we do? We ban them. Like the Americans had the Europeans ban cheap oil and gas from Russia, so they shoot themselves in the foot. And you buy from where? From us, from the Americans, from them, okay? With extra premium price, 3 to 4 times more expensive. The same thing these guys want with media. They are infiltrating the so-called alternative media. And I'm going to give you a few guys. I think when you see guys who are fired from CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, whatever, and they are appearing on YouTube with big followers, and that's the same garbage, they just migrated. There's like infiltrated in the alternative media. When you have Don Lemon, we have what's his name? I have it in my head. That guy with his brother. There was the of New York, governor of New York, Chris Cuomo. You have O'Reilly, which is old news. Now look at O'Reilly. He picked up, and what does he say? The same thing he said before. You have Megyn Kelly. Was her name Megyn Kelly? The same. Migrated, fired right there. And she has a lot of, because she's a good person. Really, I think it's an infiltration of the mainstream media in the alternative media to dilute it and to have these guys gaining a lot of popularity and the other ones that are really independent pushed down and forgotten about. So that means they take over the same guys. That's just a undercover operation, I think. So these guys I think they're insulting the American public. They've been insulting it. They lower the level of depth in their raising a question or an issue. They make it here, detention of Telegram founder sparks debate. Let's debate about free speech, we should, and criminal activity online. So they make a big stretch, which we know criminal activity online is forbidden anyway, but no, they want someone to be the moderator, that is the censor, and preferably should be some experts. Remember the fact checkers? The same shit. The fact checkers and the community guidelines in Facebook and Facebook and in YouTube. Who are those guys? You don't know, but somehow they are smarter than you, better than you, and they check your statements with facts, and they ban you. They are in charge. They are the gatekeepers of the truth. Like CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and all the other garbage never lied or never used propaganda or never misinformed or disinformed. Never. No. But they're still operating. But you, well, because YouTube moderates it, the community guidelines, but you're not part of the community. So out. Let's go to the next one. And we have this Jewish guy called Vinman. He's Ukrainian Jewish. So he's like the Hungarian-born philanthropist, billionaire George Soros. The same is with Vidman. Vidman immigrated, his parents immigrated from Soviet Union legally. You couldn't, but if you belong to, you are. He immigrated to America because there were two places of immigration. They can immigrate to United States, or you can immigrate to Israel, obviously. So anyway, this colonel who worked for the American military, he was offered by Ukraine after 2014 in Ukraine to be their defense minister. Well, Reznikov, another Jewish guy, was appointed by, what's his name, Zelensky in the meantime, but that was before Zelensky, I think, or during Zelensky's time, I'm not sure. But nevertheless, he, I think, sends a veiled threat to Elon Musk, which is, I said the same thing a few days ago. Winman said Musk should be nervous after Telegram CEO was arrested. Free speech absolutists weirdos. Well, I don't want to be an absolutist, but anyway, you're a weirdo if you're absolutist. So retired Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Winman, I will show you who this guy is, who made waves as a key witness in the impeachment trial against former President Donald Trump, issued a warning to Elon Musk on Sunday after Telegram messaging app CEO Pavel Durov was arrested in France. Now these guys were not mentioned. The real thing, that an American citizen, Jewish American citizen from Ukraine, he was offered by a foreign country the position of defense minister, if I remember correctly, when he was an attaché of the American government, military, in Ukraine. And he made some decisions that he was not supposed to. He was demoted, he was fired, I think, at the end, because he did something that was not in his attributions. He did not have the authority, but he did it. That tells me he thought he's more than he actually was. But nevertheless, here it is. What this guy says. Winman championed the move, taking to X to warn its CEO about the growing appetite for accountability before suggesting the Musk could be next. This garbage, my friends. While Durov holds French citizenship, is arrested for violating French law. This has broader implications for other social media, including Twitter. Winman wrote, "There's a growing intolerance for platforming disinfo and malign information, growing an appetite for accountability. Musk should be nervous. Now, a dangerous time." This is exactly what Musk wrote. Yes, dangerous time, unless you are part of them. And if you're part of them, you're going to be untouchable, or you're going to be arrested, investigated, and then released, and given as an example for other absolutists, freedom absolutists. You know, that's how it sometimes works. You also arrest your guys, so you don't think those are my guys. But you don't know, I arrest him, blah, 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 go to the process, nothing happens to the guy meaningful, and then I release him back in the world. And everybody else who doesn't belong to the group and to these things will say, "Oh my God, Emil is not part of the group. See, he's got arrested." He got arrested because they played the game. You're gonna get arrested for real, and there are gonna be implications and consequences for real for you, but not for Emil, who is part of that, who works for them. You got that? That's why when you see certain guys that are not arrested with less offenses than that guy possibly, then makes you wonder, or you have, I don't know, let's say Ben Shapiro can say a lot of stuff that other people cannot say on YouTube, and is not closed. Why is that? Let me think about it. Look who's behind him and who sponsors, who helped him with some money. And when I say some money, it's not $20 bills. Anyway, this is Winman. Let me show you Winman, who this guy is. Right there, Alexander Winman. Alexander Semyon Winman, Ukrainian, born June 6, 1975, is a retired U.S. Army who was the Director of European Affairs. Director of the European Affairs of the United States National Security Council. He was a colonel. Only he was reassigned on February 7, 2020. Winman is currently director, reassigned. Winman came to national attention in October 2019 when he testified before the United States Congress regarding Trump-Ukraine scandal. So he tried to throw Trump under the bus. His testimony provided evidence in charge of abuse of power in the first impeachment of Trump, which came to nothing. So early life right there is with his twin Jewish family right there. Immigrated, were born in Ukrainian Soviet Social Republic, Soviet Union, and they immigrated, and he was fantastic. Right. National Security Council. I don't gonna go deeper to show you what he did. They just hailed how fantastic he was. All right. But anyway, he was just he retired. He was pushed to retire, and then this is the guy, and then is Musk, obviously. This is the beautiful Ukrainian-born Winman. All right, next one. Elon Musk defends Telegram CEO Pavel Durov after arrest in France. Dangerous times. Correct. Very dangerous times. And telling the truth in dangerous times becomes a revolutionary act, right? Mr. George Orwell. Russia Today, darkness descending. Tucker Carlson reacts to reports of Durov's arrest. The founder and CEO of Telegram was detained, and here it says Saturday. It was a Western country, a Biden administration ally, an enthusiastic NATO member that locked him up, Carlson wrote. Pavel Durov left Russia when the government tried to control his social media company. Did you hear that? But in the end, it wasn't Putin who arrested him for allowing the public to exercise free speech. It was a Western country. Durov's arrest is a living warning, and I'm quoting, to any platform owner who refuses to censor the truth, moderate, that's the euphemism, at the behest of governments and intel agencies. That's the whole thing right here. That's the last article that I'm going to use. Who refuse to censor the truth at the behest of governments and intel agencies. Carlin argues darkness is descending fast on the formerly free world. Correct. That's what it is, my friends. Let's go to the next one. Watch what Durov told Carlson about US pressure. I covered this in a video about 6 months ago when this came out. So American security agencies have been trying to get more control over Telegram for a long time, the tech entrepreneur believes. And this is what he says. Let me go here. I'm not going to play him. I'm just going to use this right here. He claimed that the US agencies had tried to recruit Telegram employees and convince them to create a backdoor, I mean like an ass, into the messenger. This is what he said. That it was in April. So yes, they tried to, and that's going to get me to the last article, which is not this one, is the next one. Kremlin denies Durov-Putin meeting claims. The Telegram CEO did not have a face-to-face discussion with Russian leader days before his arrest in France, Dmitry Peskov said. So that's what they claim. Speaking to reporters on Monday, Peskov was asked to comment on the arrest of Durov, who was detained. The French authorities have yet outlined the details. The Telegram has denied any wrongdoing on Durov's part, stating that it is absurd to claim that the platform or its owner are responsible for abuse of that platform. Numerous opinion leaders, both in the West and Russia, have slammed the development as a crackdown on free speech. I think that it is, suggesting that the US was behind the arrest. Now, here, when Tucker said that the French, I mean, not Tucker, Wieneman, the imbecile, he was arrested because he was a French citizen in France. If and I'm going to give you an example, I go to Germany, let's say, and I deny a certain event from in the 1940s, all right, in Germany, or in Poland to be more precise, even if I'm an American citizen, they could arrest me right there and they can find me and put me in jail for 5 years, up to 5 years. They did this to many others. One of these guys was David Irving. Remember David Irving? If you don't, I tell you about David Irving. I read about 5 books of David Irving, and very, very interesting. All right, just go and read them. I recommend it as an alternative and extra information on the how do you call it, authority explanation and how should I put it, the accepted version of events. Let's put it an alternative or an add to, but you can add it because that's going to destroy certain things, truth that we cannot deny, not even question. So again, if you're a Romanian citizen or you're a French citizen, you go to Germany and you deny, saying, well, I don't have to deny the whole thing. You just say, well, maybe it can be maybe not 6 million, maybe 7 million. So even if you make it bigger, that's called denying. You can go in jail, going to jail 5 years if you do it in Germany. Now, if you're a German person and you say that German citizen, and you do that, let's say in Canada, like Ernst Zundel did, check that out too, that guy too. I know only bad dudes, but bad dudes. You find out a lot of things from bad dudes that are bad stuff, but it's just for the information purposes, okay? Ernst Zundel even married an American woman to get American citizenship, and the Americans came, picked it up, took it back to Canada, where he was, I think, a permanent resident over there, and not a citizen, I think, and from there, boom, straight to Germany, 5 years in prison. Check the Ernst Sünde. All right, that's enough for that one. So, and now that gets me to the last article and the most important one. That for me was another confirmation, like the cherry on the cake. Reuters comes from the Americans. Russia's Medvedev says Durov's miscalculated by fleeing Russia. Correct. He thought, like an idiot, that if he goes to the free world, he's gonna be going to the free world. He didn't understand the matrix. Actually, it's not quite like that. It's a lot of fake shit. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev said on Sunday that Pavel Durov, the Russian-born founder of the Telegram messaging app, miscalculated by fleeing Russia and thinking that he would never have to cooperate with the security services abroad. That's the point. That's the guys showing up at the US newly elected presidents and telling them, buddy, that's the way it goes. And the policy continues the way we said it, and you just go over there and you tell everybody we're going to stay focused on defending our ally in the Middle East, spreading freedom and democracy around the world, and so on, being under attack and fighting terrorism around the world. And that means gives us the right to occupy Syria and many other places on this planet. Yeah, northeastern Syria is under illegal occupation of the US forces and its allies. And then you find out that NATO is a defensive alliance, but somehow moved offensively towards Russia. And when Russia says back off, no, you attack us. It's our right to do it. But they forget their gentleman agreement in 1991 with the Soviets at that time. Why? Because they're not gentlemen. But hey, Durov thought so because he's naive and seems to be. He's 39. That tells you a lot. Or he had too much chutzpah, to mention our friends, in saying, they're not going to touch me. They will. I said it. They will. They will cross the road and shoot you like a dog. If you don't believe me, they kill more important people than you. The example was, for instance, I'm going to give you two. Ceausescu and, what's his name? Muhammad Gaddafi. Colonel Gaddafi and Ceausescu. They killed these guys like dogs. It was an order, both of them. And those guys had countries, armies. They achieved things in their lives. You? Okay, a messaging app. Good. Excellent. Excellent. That's it? You have an army? Or you have money and ladies of the night and alcohol and sex parties? That's all you got. What else? Beautiful cars? And then if these guys come, if a guy with an education of an 8th grader comes with a signed arrest warrant at your door, Durov, you get arrested by the 8th grader level police officer. You got that? And he's going to bring you 1,000 judges' signatures on that document if they choose to. And you will not say no because you don't have an army. They do. Again, naive. I'm sorry he's learning through his own direct experience, but since we don't know what's behind the whole thing, which I think is a lot of pressure on this guy, that's why a lot of them resort to alcohol and drugs and all that, because too much pressure from behind. And if some of them still have an ounce or a gram of character, they can't stand that. They will sell their souls to these security services, countries and interests. Now, Medvedev related the conversation he had with Durov several years ago, in which Medvedev told him that if he did not want to cooperate with the law enforcement agencies, then he would have problems in any country. Now, this is according to Reuters, right? Medvedev, the deputy head of Russian Security Council, said Durov wanted to be a brilliant man of the world who lives wonderfully without a motherland. He miscalculated, end quote, Medvedev said, and I'm quoting again, for all our common enemies now, he is Russian and therefore unpredictable and dangerous. Yes, that's what he's considered, Russian. Durov should finally realize that one cannot choose one's the fatherland. Medvedev said, got that? So this is it. He thought that he can live somewhere else and would never have to cooperate with security services. Do you think that's not the case with, I don't know, I'm just kidding, X? Do you think that, I've been saying this as a suggestion, as a question, that Elon Musk is very verbal and he's allowed to be free. I'm not saying he's one of them, But remember what I said before. They could arrest Elon Musk in the future and then release him and then bring someone else. And Elon Musk will be, see what happened to Elon Musk? If you have a big mouth, you're going to get it. Elon Musk, the richest guy in the world, got it. What do you think? You can't have it, Emil? You're just a nobody. So I think that's very important for the baboons who still think like Durov thought at that point that I can go and do whatever I want. I got the money. Do you understand? That's not... You go to a debate unarmed, you're going to lose the debate. If in all those guys at the table of the debate or negotiations, if one of them has a gun and nobody else has a gun, the guy with the gun will win the debate. He just has to put his gun on the table. Right on the desk. And he already won the conversation. I don't think he has to give, to set an example of anybody who's going to be a big mouth. Like you have a revolver, click. If you have a pistol, click, click. Or maybe do on a table, click, click. Huh? Or huh? How do you want? And boom. And then everybody's going to be like, damn, how many rounds do you still have over there? The government did not limit your 15, or it depends what kind of caliber you want. Well, let's say I have 6. And now I have 5. Right here, you're 10. Who's the hero? Who's the next 5 heroes? Will you be? I don't think so. So you don't need to have 12 rounds for 12 people. You have to have 5 rounds for 12 people. Because if you use 1 round, the rest will get the message and shut the fuck up and sit down. Unless someone say, yes, give me liberty or give me death. Okay, boom. Do you think that guy's gonna care? These guys killed more important people than Durov-Putin. Remember, but hey, we live in a free world. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.